Right, let's see if I remember how to do this. Wow, there's so much going on right now. God, it has been a long time since I've been on camera. I think the last time I made a video for you guys was back in December 2024. So, yeah, sorry about that. Life kind of got in the way, but one thing I can tell you is my workshop has basically been in a time capsule for that amount of time. I had some life stuff come up, a few other things to deal with, and basically I rolled those doors and I haven't been back in here for about a year and a half. But that all changes today. We are back in. I am going to start making videos again. And not only that, I'm going to finish the GT6. We're going to get back on that Mini, and I'll tell you about a few other things that have been going on here in the workshop and with the cars in general. So let's talk about the Mini, the car that was basically defining the channel for a good 6 months there back in 2024. Now, it hasn't moved that much further. The one thing I did do, which I filmed some content for and then things in life got in the way, was I fitted the rear subframe. And that was a huge thing for me because, you know, learning to weld on this car took a lot of time, and we literally had, I think, maybe 2 or 3 bolt holes that were where they should have been on the back of this car. It was a death trap. And having to line everything up and get it welded up and get it right took a really long time. And basically I wasn't going to know if that was going to work out until we fitted this rear subframe. So yeah, I got that on. It took a lot of swearing at, but we're going to pull it back off so I can finish the welding on the rear end. Now, more or less everything is in place. I've got the rear valance to go on, a couple of other small bits, and then basically I've got to carry on tacking up my welding to get everything done and dusted, and then we can start looking at kind of tying up the back end. As well as that, I'm now going to start moving through the car. We've got all the floors to go in. We've got the front of the vehicle to look at. I've got a couple of ideas on that. You know, there was a bit of push on the toe board inside the car, and I might have a look at seeing if I can get some sort of, I don't know what they call them, you know, like the piston jacks that kind of push everything back into shape. I'll try it, because what have I got to lose at the moment? If that doesn't work, then essentially we'll be cutting that out and re-welding that as well. But on the whole, get the back end tied up, probably drop the front subframe, the engine out of this as well, and then that'll just give us the shell to kind of crack on with. I've got all the paint, I've got all the gear, I've got all the panels, it's good to go. We're gonna be getting back on it. On to project number 2 that never got finished, the GT6. Bought this when I was 39 and I am going to be 46 this year. So we've had this car for coming on 6 years, and whilst I've been away, we had the car taken to a specialist in Tillicoultry up here in Scotland. They worked on the engine. There were certain things that I just could not figure it out. It had something called a negative ballast resistor on it. It was screwing with the electrics. I couldn't suss it out. Anyway, now it's back to standard 12 volt. It starts, it fires up, it's not overheating, it's running nicely, it's not backfiring. Obviously, there are going to be issues once we get this car kind of road running and testing again, but at the moment where we are with this, I need to tie up some of the electrics, check the brakes, and basically insure it and start road testing it. Now, there's a lot more to do, but having stalled on this car for so long, and the electrics were a huge part of that, getting them all working, getting the lights working. Not everything's quite right. I mean, the windscreen wipers aren't working, for instance, but the basics work, the brake lights work, the lights work, the steering works, the brake hoses are all kind of solid, and the suspension's good. But once I've got this running and feel like it is, God, it sounds so good, by the way. This has only got 24,000 miles on it, and it was really last driven in 1980. I want to say 83, 84. So we're talking about a car that sat for the best part of 40 years, frozen in time. We're going to have fun with this. It's going to be running. There's going to be some videos on this sooner rather than later. I'm probably going to jump on that after I've done a bit of the electrics on this to start with, because I feel like I can kind of get this on the road and get that first terrified driving experience when you first kind of start playing with a project on the road. We've all been there, right? But yeah, we're going to get that running, see how it goes. But that will be running within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Right, let's talk about my baby, the car that comes out every summer. I've had this for probably 5 years now, and even though it is it's incredibly ratty, it works. I love it. The first day of spring, we've all been there. We turn that key, smell those carbs, and getting this car on the road every summer has been a joy. Last year, however, whilst I was running it, I was taking it over a pass called the Rest and Be Thankful here in Scotland, and the most horrendous noise came out of the back of this. Really bad knocking. Essentially, the bottom end on the engine went. Now, could it have been saved? Maybe. Maybe it was a maintenance issue, but what I needed to do was find a new engine. This is a 1600 air-cooled with, it had twin carbs on it. I started having a look around, and basically to get a short block, so no auxiliaries, nothing, I was looking at about 1,500 quid to 2 grand. Tell me if I'm wrong, maybe you can get them cheaper, but they were the kind of prices that I was finding for getting a decent 1600 engine. A rebuild was not on the cards. We pulled the engine out, we looked at it, it wasn't just trash, it was the amount of metal contamination within the engine and a load of other stuff that basically meant if I wanted to run this car last year, I wasn't going to be able to do that within the time frames that I had. So very, very luckily, I came across an engine for sale on Facebook, and it was for sale just outside Newcastle. The guy selling it, Bob, is 82. 83 this year. Really, really nice guy. Did his apprenticeship with VW and builds these engines for fun, basically. He's also got a Karmann Ghia. So I took a drive over to see him. We had a really good chat, and he sold me a 1600 with a new clutch, all auxiliaries, showed me it running on a stand, and then picked it up with me and put it in the back of my van. And I got to bring that back last year and essentially do the engine swap by myself, which was cool. You know, I've always loved old cars, but really understanding how the carbs work, you know, fuel delivery, everything else, that was probably the first time I really started to understand how that worked. Working on the engine timing as well, and it was great because when I first put the engine in, and I did it pretty much by myself, it was misfiring, it was underpowered, and I knew there was nothing wrong with the engine. But going through that process, and the other thing these days, right, ChatGPT, AI is insane, and to be able to walk through the process, know what questions to ask, and actually get that engine in here and then drive this car from the West Coast over to Edinburgh last year was amazing. And I did that all by myself. As well as that, we've got new gold top air front suspension on this. This is on air ride. But I still need to do more work on this, and part of working on this is going to be the same skills that I'm going to learn off these other cars. It's going to be more welding. I want to do some deletes on the GT6. I really don't like the rear bumper, and then transferring those skills over to this car. There are bits of rust on this car. There's bits along the bottom that are a little bit more tatty than I'd really like. I don't mind a bit of patina, but it's kind of gone that step too far for me at the moment. So we'll figure out those things. But yeah, that's where the workshop is at the moment. Personally, I lost my best friend, my dog, Nero. He passed away about 4 weeks ago, so that was a big kick in the teeth. Oh well, that was a big kick in the teeth, but it was also a really good reminder to get back on doing what you love. And for me, I love making videos. I love sharing this content with you. Today isn't a usual video. It's not loads of cuts, slow-mo, welding, 100 other things that I usually do in here. And it's not a video that's going to take me 10 days. It's just one evening, a coffee, my other dog, come in, show you around. And I can't wait to get back on these cars and show you everything we're going to do. If you're in the area, or if you're coming up to Scotland, I always love chatting to people that like cars. Hey, if you want to come and work on the cars with me, do that. Let's do it. I've still got to pull that engine out of the Mini. That's going to be a whole new thing. I'm really looking forward to that too. But the workshop's good. We've got everything in here. I'm going to stop talking. It's really nice to see you all again, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.